Happy New Year. Welcome to Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening news. It's time to queer up the news. It is 8 p.m. Tuesday, January 4th, 2022, and we are literally out of the closet and into your headlines. So many of your important stories we are going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight with Al Ferguson.
Hello, and thank you for joining Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ plus evening news show. Whatever happens, you will see it. Queer News Tonight is supported by viewers like you. We are part of the partnership between Happening Out Television Network and Hotspots Magazine. Hotspots is celebrating 36 years of the LGBTQ plus experience, and we bring you the best of LGBTQ plus news, entertainment, and support of our community.
I'm your anchor, Tony Lima, at Queer News Tonight. Let's start by welcoming my sister, anchor FayWhat. She is a radio and television personality and has a popular blog and YouTube channel aiming to unite the L and the G together. She's a hostess and MC for many South Florida events, an animal advocate and owner of Fays for Her Family, and is the anchor of the travel news show Happening Out.Travel. Also, make sure to catch the brand new FayWhat show, the first LGBTQ plus morning show, Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern, starting on January 10th. Good evening, Faye.
Good evening, brother. And don't forget that you promised that for my first show, you're going to make me the biggest Cuban colada.
I plan to.
For me to be able to be up that early on January 10th.
It's on.
Thank you. All right. January 10th, it's on. So mark your calendars, okay? So the new FayWhat show, it's going to be everywhere. Look out for it. Next, let's welcome anchor Gregg Shapiro. A 1999 inductee into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame, Gregg is the author of 2 short story collections and 5 books of poetry. As an entertainment journalist, his celebrity interviews and music reviews run in a variety of regional LGBTQ plus and mainstream publications and websites. And his screensaver movie review column can be found in South Florida Gay News, San Francisco's Bay Area Reporter, RottenTomatoes.com, and much, much more. Good evening, Gregg. Welcome back.
Welcome. Yeah, thank you so much. It's great to be back.
Welcome, moi. Welcome,
okay.
Moi.
I do my mouth exercises. Thank you so much. Let's welcome anchor David Hopkins. David is known in South Florida for his charity work in the leather community as an officer for the Lambda Men's Brotherhood.
That's not the only thing he's known for.
Uh-oh. LMB has helped raise over $250,000 for at-need nonprofits in the community. He is also part of the production team here at the Happening Out Television Network, helping to bring your favorite shows to life. Good evening, David.
Good evening, and you can find about everything I'm known for on January 22nd at In Leather. We're having a charity pool party from noon to 5. Come on by.
Yeah.
Wow. Next, let's welcome anchor Glen Weinzimer, founder of the Smart Ride, the second largest AIDS bicycle ride in the country, and the only one of its size to donate 100% of the funds raised to AIDS services organizations. He also owns Bona Italian Restaurant, where they celebrate Give Back Mondays, offering a portion of all sales to a different charity each week. Good evening, Glen.
Good evening, and thanks for having me back. You know what's happening this Sunday?
What?
This Sunday, we're giving out all the checks from the Smart Ride.
Awesome.
Yay! Which congratulations again, Glen, for meeting your goal and superseding it.
Superseding it, yeah, without a doubt.
Broke that million.
You are an incredible man, Glen. Thank you for all you do, puppy.
Everyone at this table does great work. So, we are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast, and here are the bullet points of the queer news for today, Tuesday, January 4th. Take it away, Tony.
Let's start off by queering up the world. Tom Daley to use his Order of the British Empire recognition to help the global LGBTQ plus community. Olympic diving champion Tom Daley has pledged to use his OBE, or Order of the British Empire, a designation one step below a duke or duchess, to make the whole Commonwealth a better place for LGBT people. The sports star, who achieved his long-held ambition by winning gold at the delayed Tokyo 2020 Games, was made an OBE for services to diving, to LGBTQ plus rights, and to charity, having been an ambassador for the gay community alongside his sporting endeavors. He told BBC Breakfast, quote, I feel it's almost like a responsibility to make the whole Commonwealth a better place for LGBT people, for women, for people of color, to make it a more inclusive and more accepting environment. It is now my responsibility to try and help create change and help create this environment where everybody can be anything that they want, no matter where they came from, end quote. He came out in 2013 and married screenwriter Dustin Lance Black in 2017, with whom he has a son, Robbie.
Wasn't he the guy who made knitting
he
popular, right? That like now everybody's knitting because of this cutie patootie?
He is the most wholesome thing ever. He's just like, between the knitting, the diving, his husband and his kid, all the charity work he does, he's just adorable.
Yeah, he's the very definition of a beautiful human, inside and outside.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to be a duke or duchess.
I thought we already were, for some reason. But you know what's interesting to me? Like, I didn't even know that knitting had become a thing for gay people. But thank you to this guy for doing that. Congrats on so much that you're
We have
doing
classes on
for the
Saturday.
LGBTQ community.
You can make penis puppets. Yeah.
We could do it tomorrow.
That's the word of the night. Penis is the word of the night.
Penis?
the word.
All right, yay. Next up, we queer up business. Cryptocurrencies go gay with Maricoin. That's not even an incorrect word,
She's
seriously.
serious.
The Maricoin, a play on words taken from a homophobic slur in Spanish, Maricón, was launched on Friday in a week-long pilot test involving 10 businesses in Chueca, Maricón, known as the LGBT plus neighborhood of Spain's capital, Madrid. Maricoin's backer are aiming for the virtual currency to start trading early next year, paving the way for it to be used as a means of payment at LGBT-friendly businesses and events worldwide. Like maybe you can use it at Grindr. Co-founder Juan Belmonte said, quote, "Since we moved this economy, why shouldn't our community profit from it instead of banks, insurance companies, or big corporations that often don't help LGBT plus people," end quote. The global LGBT plus market is huge, with research by Swiss bank Credit Suisse suggesting it would rank as the world's 4th largest economy behind Japan, but ahead of Germany in terms of purchasing power. Maricoin is backed by Miami-based, of course, because we are in everything, Miami-based venture capital firm Borderless Capital. And the initiative's chief executive, Francisco Alvarez, who's a hottie, said 8,000 people were already on a waiting list seeking to buy Maricoins. You know, there's a lot of people that probably want to buy Maricoins before the currency starts trading next year.
Does anyone know anything about Borderless Capital and who they are?
I don't know Borderless Capital. I do love cryptocurrencies. I think they're a lot of fun. They're a new way of paying for things. They're based on algorithms that you actually have to figure out the algorithm to get a new serial number to create a new item of the crypto. And some of them are capped, like Bitcoin, they'll cap how many can be produced each year. Then there's the more fun ones that are cheap to pick up, like Dogecoin, which have a small algorithm that's easy to figure out, and they don't limit how many. We'll see what the value of Maricoin will be, but I think it's really fun that's coming out there.
Maricoin. How about like fag bucks or something like that? Like, really? Maricoin? That's what you came up with?
It's a
I like
great
fag
queerency.
But you know what I love about that? It's reclaiming a word that's been used to hurt virtually all of us.
You're right.
It's like taking queer and making it part of a big movement to define a new movement within LGBTQ plus rights. So if we can use that word to reclaim maricón as something positive and something that we can laugh at, I'm all for it.
Well, and aside from the clever name, the thing that's really shocking is that the LGBTQ plus community is the 4th largest economy. I mean, how is that even possible? That's amazing to think about that. Yeah.
Vagina coins. That's what it should be called.
Chocha coin.
Chocha coin. Chocha dinero. Listen, my chocha's dinero, so I mean, everybody else's
of
should.
course.
Cardi B would agree.
Oh my goodness. Now we're going to queer up entertainment.
We are a mess today.
We may be seeing more of the MCU's bisexual badass, Valkyrie.
Yes.
The bisexual Asgardian warrior who first appeared in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in Thor Ragnarok may be showing up in another movie, as a new set photo from the upcoming film The Marvels seems to show Tessa Thompson's Valkyrie among the cast. The image, shared by Zenobia Shroff, who will be playing Kamala Khan's mother, Muniba Khan, in the film, was part of a slideshow she posted on Instagram celebrating the year she had. In one image in the video, Shroff is in what appears to be a hair and makeup trailer for the film. Behind her, you can see some of the headshots of fellow cast members, including one of Tessa Thompson, whose character Valkyrie had never been announced to be in the movie. The image also appeared to show Lashana Lynch's headshot. Lynch played Maria Rambeau, Carol Danvers' queer-coded best friend in Captain Marvel. While her character has since passed, it looks like she'll be back at least in a flashback. Back in 2019, Tessa Thompson announced at San Diego Comic-Con that in the upcoming Thor: Love and Thunder, Valkyrie's first task as the new king of Asgard, as she was crowned in Avengers Endgame, is, quote, to find her queen, end quote. Fans have been dying for Valkyrie and Captain Marvel to get together ever since Captain Marvel was released, shipping the two before they ever appeared on screen together. Thompson even said she was in favor of the couple, and when asked about the couple said, quote, I just think it's so cool and it's time, and why not, end quote.
That's right. It's fantastic also because she is an openly queer woman. She is the girlfriend of Janelle Monáe. They are very open about their relationship. And as Black queer women, that representation matters more than ever.
I love this. I love this. But I'm a little confused though, boys. Help me out here, all right? But she's bisexual, but she's an Asgardian.
Oh,
I'm very confused.
Listen, are you saying women don't like some ass?
Laughing.
That could be the name of your next Bitcoin. Asgardian.
So yeah, so she's one of the Valkyries, which are the warriors for Asgard, which is where Thor is from, and Odin and all them, Loki. This is going to be such a great movie. It's such a girl power movie. You've got Monica Rambeau, who showed up in WandaVision. Yeah. You've got Kamala Khan playing Miss Marvel as a fairly gender fluid Muslim superhero. You've got Captain Marvel played by Brie Larson. It's just gonna be like a kick-ass girl flick, and I can't wait for it actually.
So excited.
So, next we're gonna queer up trans rights. Trans soccer player Kumi Yokoyama calls out lagging Japanese LGBTQ+ awareness. Yokoyama came out publicly as a trans man earlier this year, 2021, making him the most high-profile athlete in Japan to do so. He played for Japan's national team in the FIFA Women's World Cup in 2019 and moved to the U.S. to play for the Washington Spirit in the National Women's Soccer League. After they came out, President Joe Biden praised both Yokoyama and Las Vegas Raiders star Carl Nassib for their courage. However, Yokoyama said he wasn't surprised that then Prime Minister of Japan, Yoshihide Suga, did not issue a similar statement. Yokoyama said it was normal for Suga to not say anything, and that they feel Japan's country is lagging behind the rest of the world on LGBTQ+ rights. Japan failed to pass legislation that would protect LGBTQ+ people from discrimination based on sexual orientation before hosting the Olympics in Tokyo this summer, and in general has been slow to make any progress on LGBTQ+ issues.
I love this. I mean, he is, let's say he is the most high-profile gay athlete in Japan. So for him to say this really holds some clout, and it's true. Japan is the only G7 country that didn't pass marriage equality yet. Like, what are you guys waiting for?
And it's funny because they're such freaks sexually, not in public, but all the freaky kinky stuff comes from.
That's right.
They have used panty the vending machines in Tokyo. So like, Japan is a very sexual culture, even if it's not openly so. So to be so backwards when it comes to LGBTQ issues seems so weird to me.
But didn't they say some of their local cities were already passing some laws to protect LGBT?
Some of the cities are.
It's happening, maybe not on the top level, but it is slowly happening on the local levels.
Yay, sports ball.
Yeah. And guys, representation matters, like we talk about over and over on all of our shows on this platform. It's important that although it's not happening within Japan, there is a Japanese, as Faye said, a superstar in the sports world outside of Japan being visible and pointing the finger back at their country. So that's progress right there.
All right, next up, queer up politics. AOC calls Republican LGBTQ+ fixation strange sexual frustration. Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has said Republicans need therapy for the fixation with women, LGBT+ people, and AOC herself. AOC was responding to a tweet from former Trump advisor Steve Cortez, who took bizarre umbrage with the New York representative and her partner holidaying in Florida with drinks. He tweeted an image of the couple with a caption, quote, 1, if leftists like AOC actually thought mandates and masking work, they wouldn't be frolicking in free Florida where we're broadcasting from. I added that part. 2, her guy is showing his gross pale male feet in public, not at a pool or beach with hideous sandals. 0 for 2, end quote. In response, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez accused Cortez of, quote, projecting his sexual frustrations onto her boyfriend's feet, end quote.
Wow.
Before labeling the former Trump advisor a, quote, creepy weirdo, in her tweet she said, it's starting to get old ignoring the very obvious, strange and deranged sexual frustrations that underpin the Republican fixation on me, women, and LGBT plus people in general. These people clearly need therapy, won't do it, and use politics as their outlet instead. It's really weird.
I don't know why.
She drops the mic.
Yeah.
She
Drops
drops
the mic and
You know,
leaves.
So great.
I keep on thinking of the old Mariah Carey song, Why Are You So Obsessed With Me? It's like, oh my God, like leave her the hell alone.
Yeah.
Yes, she was
Yes,
in Miami.
right.
Yes, she was at Palace. She was hanging out with our girl, Tiffany Fantasia. You see the picture on screen right there. Let her live. But she walked
Right.
in with a mask. Leave her the hell alone.
Well, let's face it. A, it's Florida. It's hot as hell down here. Even this time of year, I don't wear sneakers or closed shoes unless I have to. When I'm out, generally,
Let's see your
spending
feet.
my
But
day-
your feet are cute.
I got-
You get a pedicure at least.
But you know,
picture
and
today.
secondly, the guy's a ginger. Of course, he's gonna have pale feet. Gingers go from pasty to burnt down here. It's like it takes a long time. So
It's on the beach. What difference does it make?
yeah, they were on
I mean,
South Beach.
That's the thing. It doesn't really matter. Like, people's feet are their own business.
Right, and Steve,
the
quite-
fact that that was used as fodder to
Right.
insult them, how ridiculous.
Well,
And
that was desperation.
he's giving foot fetishists a bad name.
Oh, yeah.
On that note, David Hopkins.
Well, that's our queer headlines for today. So let's catch up on the LGBTQ plus news surrounding COVID-19 with our special segment called Quarantine Quickies.
Queer News Tonight has reported on coronavirus every week since January 6th, 2020. Tonight we report that as of today, more than 3,999,000 LGBTQ plus Americans have contracted COVID-19.
Queer News Tonight remembers the more than 59,000 LGBTQ plus Americans that have died from coronavirus.
But the news is improving because as of today, more than 507 million vaccination doses have been administered in the United States.
And that's our pandemic news for tonight. Next, we report on our partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. We're broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine in supporting that partnership. Happening Out Television Network broadcasts the largest LGBTQ plus religious live broadcast in the world, as more than 30,000 watch every Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern. Watch this.
Hello, my name is Peter Basuito, also known as My Big Funny Peter. I'm an internationally known comedian and entertainer, and the Sunshine Cathedral is definitely my queer church.
We finished tonight's Queer News headlines with what we call LGBTQ plus flash news. LGBTQ plus flash news. Patton Oswalt comes out for trans rights after Dave Chappelle backlash. Patton Oswalt shared in a post on Instagram on Friday that he was invited to perform a surprise guest set after Chappelle discovered he was performing nearby. The Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. star posted a picture of himself alongside Chappelle saying he couldn't ask for much more than ending the year with a real friend and a deep laugh. Oswalt faced swift backlash for appearing alongside Chappelle, whose recent Netflix special, The Closer, was slammed for making cruel jabs against trans people. In a follow-up post, Oswalt shared that he posted the photos as he hadn't met with Chappelle, who he has known since we're teens in a long time. But despite being friends for over 3 decades, he said they, quote, also 100% disagree about transgender rights and representation, end quote. In the post, he continued saying, quote, I support trans people's rights, anyone's rights, to live safely in the world as their fullest selves. For all the things he's helped me evolve on, I'll always disagree where he stands now on transgender issues. I think this is really interesting. Patton Oswalt, who's also very popular, is taking the right stance. He's sort of breaking away a little bit from all of the drama, but also standing with trans people, which is really important.
Patton, okay, you're just scared. You're scared that the gay mafia is going to come and cancel your little roly-poly ass. So that's why you came with that second post, all right? Don't be trying to con us, bro. Come on, you got caught.
This is no laughing matter, and I do sincerely hope that Oswalt can help that hate-monger moron evolve.
Yeah, I would agree. Oswalt, I mean, I give him credit for coming back and making a statement and not just leaving it on deaf ears, but actually following through and making it, whether he's telling the truth or not, I give him credit for at least taking a stand and showing some sense of sympathy.
Well, you know, I appreciate when you have friends, you don't always get along and you don't always agree on everything. I appreciate that he's friends with David Chappelle, and I also agree that he is very good for coming out and saying, yes, we're friends, but I disagree completely with him on this point. Hopefully, he can help him learn.
LGBTQ plus flash news. Doctor Who New Year's special reveals the Doctor as a lesbian. Yes! Doctor Who has been praised by LGBTQ plus charity Stonewall after the New Year's special confirmed that the two female characters have feelings for each other. Viewers were delighted, and many were a bit surprised to see the relationship between the Doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker, and Jazz, played by Mandip Gill, addressed an Eve of the Daleks. The pair were urged by Dan, played by John Bishop, to admit to each other that their feelings are more than platonic. While Jazz admitted to herself that she had feelings for the Doctor, we'll have to wait until the spring special to see how the relationship plays out. And we've got everything crossed that we're not headed for heartbreak. I just want to see them have sex, okay? Just go and have the sex scene. Then I'll actually watch Mr. Doctor Who. That now I'm actually going to watch because it's a girl. Back when Doctor Who was a boy, kind of boring for this lesbian.
Dr. Hoochie Coochie is more likely.
Yeah, I don't want to watch them having sex. Faye, that's all up to you. You can have it.
I mean, Doctor Who is technically a trans icon because the Doctor changes sex frequently. So, you know, every time a new one's reborn. This is awesome, though, and they're both sexy as fuck.
I'm super excited about this Doctor Who rebirth because it is a lesbian woman. I'm totally with my sister. Get it on.
LGBTQ plus flash news. HBO distances itself from JK Rowling for Harry Potter 20th anniversary special. JK Rowling has basically been expelled from Hogwarts. The HBO Max Harry Potter reunion did its best to skirt around its glaring dilemma when it came to the controversial author, keeping any mention of the Wizarding World creator to a minimum. HBO Max made it abundantly clear that Rowling was not directly involved, flashing a disclaimer every time she briefly appeared that her interviews were filmed back in 2019. It's not a surprise that Rowling's screen time was limited, considering Harry Potter stars Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint have all publicly distanced themselves from Rowling following her numerous transphobic statements over the years. I think her next book should be called From Hogwarts to Warthog, the JK Rowling story.
I think this was all about money for HBO. This series has made so much money that there's no way they could not feature and do a 20th anniversary, but at the same time, you know, they've got to deal with the fact that JK Rowling is a bigot.
You know what, JK Rowling? Expelliarmus. You're being disarmed of your power over that whole franchise. People are sick of it. Get out of here.
What he said. And also, good for HBO taking this stance and trying to minimize, even though they have to show her on screen, I'm sure, because she's the darn creator, but minimizing the potential damage that this woman does constantly.
Don't put your wand there, boy. Better wizards than you have lost their buttocks. That's it.
That's a quote.
Very performative.
LGBTQ plus flash news. After racial incidents in Boystown, 2 black women opened new lesbian bar. After several questionable racially rooted incidents in Chicago's neighborhood, Boystown, 2 black women opened a new women-centered lesbian bar in nearby Andersonville. Angela Barnes, 52, and her friend Renata Riddle, 41, opened Nobody's Darling in May of 2021. Selecting its name from 2 opening lines in Be Nobody's Darling, a poem by Alex Walker, in which she urges, "Be nobody's darling, be an outcast." In a profile for the Washington Post, Barnes said, quote, "We have a space where our only expectations are respect, relaxation, and refreshment. It's safe and it's resonating. There's nothing aggressive about it. You have women in their 60s next to gay guys in their 20s or lesbians in their 40s, and then they start talking with each other," end quote. The profile recounted several incidents in Boystown, including one in which the owner of Progress Bar tried to ban rap music, a plan that, according to the Chicago Reader, was rooted in a desire to deter black patrons. Several other businesses have been accused of underpaying black and Latino workers and showing favoritism to white male employees with athletic body types. One thing a lot of people need to realize, Chicago has a huge LGBT black community, similar to many places here in South Florida or Atlanta, and just like in many of those places, they often get ignored and people are sick of it.
I love the title, Nobody's Darling. I love Alice Walker as an author. I'm a huge fan of The Handmaid's Tale on top of it. So I think it's a great metaphor for everyone that's coming to this bar and being able to find a respite in an inclusive and loving place.
Yay! Now there's 14 lesbian bars in the whole freaking country. Yay us! 14. That's it.
Nobody's Darling is a welcome addition to my old neighborhood, Andersonville. Brava.
I think 2 out of the 14 are here in South Florida, aren't they? Lesbian bars.
No,
No?
there are none here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think we
What are you
have
talking
any.
about?
I thought guess
That's a restaurant, honey.
It's a restaurant now, but yeah, she used to have kicks. All right, I stand corrected. Next up, LGBTQ plus flash news. More protests against the BBC after transphobic Lily Cade interview. A demonstration outside the BBC's London offices against its anti-trans agenda of hate and discrimination will be at least the 7th protest against the broadcaster in the last 2 months. An online flyer for the protest, which is planned for 1 p.m. on January 8th, reads, quote, "Platforming hate is not impartial. Can't ignore the recurring platforming of bigots with a queerphobic agenda. Join us," unquote. Protests against the BBC broke out in several cities in November and December, including outside its offices in Bristol, Cardiff, Manchester, London, and Brighton. After the publicly funded broadcaster published an article on October 26th that BBC News headlined, quote, "We're being pressured into sex by some trans women," end quote. The October article by BBC News journalist Carolina Lowbridge initially platformed transphobic porn performer Lily Cade, who had been accused by multiple women of sexual assault. The broadcaster eventually removed Cade from the story when it was discovered that she called for the mass, quote, "execution and lynching of trans women," but still refused to remove the article. I think this is sort of a shame on BBC for not taking a stronger stance on this. I mean, that's pretty severe when they're offering or suggesting execution and lynching of trans women. I mean, the trans community suffers enough, and a large publication like this and one that's publicly funded should not be allowed to do that.
We reported on the initial article and the foundation of the hashtag cis with the T that came from it. And really, we all need to be standing up for our transgender family.
Again, what he said. But it's true. It's so important. It's so important to pull away from people like Lily Cade, people like JK Rowling, people who have a platform and are out there really doing major damage against our community. So it's time for that kind of stuff to stop.
BBC, you gave us AbFab, okay? Right now, I'm watching Becoming Andy, which is an incredible, incredible show about the first-year journey of a trans man. You guys are with us. You're behind us. Come on, throw this woman off your network. You know you don't want her there. We're way more important. And, you know, she sucks.
BBC should stand for Ban Bogus Cade.
Love that.
There it is. So that is today's news for the LGBTQ plus community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ plus evening news show. Is our community important to you?
Then help us by liking and subscribing. Ring the bell for updates. Share this news with your friends and family.
Post this broadcast in the many groups you're a member of. Tonight's stories about our community deserve the attention of your family and friends.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ plus digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support.
If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world. This is the only place in the world that tells these LGBTQ plus stories in motion and sound. That is the passion of Happening Out Television Network and Queer News Tonight. I'm your anchor, Tony Lima, and on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the anchors of Queer News Tonight, including FayWhat, Gregg Shapiro, David Hopkins, and Glen Weinzimer, we will see you daily at 8 p.m. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBT